Salut mon pote, comment ça va? Today, big chapter about le plus que parfait. We are going to review everything. I will do my best to present to you le plus que parfait for you to absolutely understand how this new conjugation works, okay? On your side, I would like you, if you want to take the best out of this video, to put the video in full screen mode. I will tell you when to pause the video to do the practice exercises. We are actually going to do a lot of practice exercises during the video. So I would like you also to take a notebook or a sheet of paper and a pencil, okay, to do the exercises and to remove any distractions. If you really want to do the best you can do to learn about le plus que parfait. First of all, we will talk about the logic of le plus que parfait and how to conjugate it. Then we're going to talk about the dynamic between plus que parfait, passé composé, imparfait, alright? Of course, these are like the three main tenses of the past that we use. So we have to understand how to use them in relation to each other. And at the end, for those of you who really want to go deep in the niche grammar rules, we will talk about some special conjugation rules with verb pronominal. This last part is not mandatory, okay, but at least part 1 and part 2 are mandatory here, okay? But before starting, I want you to understand that before watching this video, you need to be absolutely comfortable with passé composé and imparfait, because we are going to study how to use these three tenses with each other. If you are not comfortable with how to use imparfait and passé composé, there's no point in starting to learn plus que parfait, okay? Like if you start going to the gym, you have to learn how to bench press 60 kg before you can bench press 200 kg, right? So don't try to learn about plus que parfait before being comfortable with passé composé and imparfait. If you try to go too fast, you will just make things more difficult for you. If you want to make sure you know everything about passé composé and imparfait, please go watch this video that I made recently on the topic. Okay? Très bien. Now we can start with the logic of le plus que parfait, which is a tense of the past. Okay? Usually, it's very common that we call le plus que parfait the past of the past. So what do we mean by that? Why is it the past of the past? So let's take a situation. This line is the line of time. This is right now and this is the past, le passé. Okay? Let's take the sentence. J'ai mangé une pomme. I ate an apple. So when I say this sentence, j'ai mangé une pomme, I'm here, I'm now. And the action eating an apple happened in the past. This is why I use passé composé here. J'ai mangé une pomme. But if I take the thinking a bit further, to be able to eat an apple, I had to buy the apple before I can eat it, right? So first I buy it, I purchase it, and then I eat it. So it's like, even before I ate it, I went to the supermarket to buy it, okay? And so this event right here of buying the apple is, in a way, kind of the past of the past, okay? Because if I am here right now, this is the past, and this is the past of the past. I think you get my point, right? When I say the past of the past, I mean from a grammatical perspective. So, I can make a sentence like this. J'ai mangé la pomme que j'avais achetée. So we're going to talk about the conjugation here. And this is the logic of le plus que parfait. We use le plus que parfait, this conjugation tense, to imply that something happened before something that was already in the past. Okay? So we use le plus que parfait in comparison to passé composé and imparfait. Because we need to have something happening in the past first to be able to have the past of the past. All of this is relative. Do you get my point? If I want to be able to talk about the past of the past, if I want to say that something happened even before something else, I also need to have something that happened in the past to have this relative. Okay? This is why le plus que parfait exists in relation to the past. And how do we talk about the past? We use passé composé ou imparfait. So this is the logic. Now going straight to the conjugation, and then we will talk about the logic more. But if we want to look at examples of the logic, you need to know about the conjugation, right? So let's look at the conjugation. The conjugation of the plus que parfait, believe it or not, it's absolutely mind-blowing. Plus que parfait is literally the combination of passé composé and imparfait. You take passé composé, you take imparfait, you combine them, you get plus que parfait. That's it. Okay? So how does it work really? This right here is passé composé, right? Sujet. Then we have être ou avoir au présent. Then we have le participe passé. For example, j'ai mangé une pomme. Okay? So this is passé composé. Now, what if I do one small change in this grammar, and instead of having être ou avoir au présent, I take être et avoir à l'imparfait. I don't change anything else. I just replace here présent by imparfait. Suddenly it will look like this, right? J'avais mangé une pomme. Okay? You can take a minute to think about it. J'avais is the verb avoir à l'imparfait. J'avais, tu avais, etc. Manger is still the participe passé, same as for passé composé. Okay? Nothing changes. So what if I do this? Well, if I do this, I get something that we call le plus que parfait. That's it. That's all there is to it. You take passé composé, and instead of conjugating être ou avoir au présent, you put them à l'imparfait. That's it. And you have plus que parfait. So here you go. Here you have le plus que parfait. J'avais mangé une pomme. This is how we conjugate it. Okay? This needs to be absolutely clear for you before moving on. Huh? This is why we're going to do practice exercise right away. Can you conjugate this sentence for me, please? So using plus que parfait. So I have le sujet, which is je. Then I need être ou avoir à l'imparfait. Then I want to conjugate the verb partir. Okay? Avant toi, with partir will be like I left before you. Okay? So you will have to use le participe passé of partir. What will I have? Well, when I use passé composé and I want to conjugate partir, I will use l'auxiliaire être, right? Passé composé is je suis parti. I left. So here it's the same, but I will conjugate être à l'imparfait. What is être à l'imparfait? J'étais, donc, j'étais parti avant toi. C'est I was gone before you. Ok? Très bien. So, what did we saw here? How to choose between être et avoir. Very easy, you are going to like this one. It is exactly the same than for passé composé. Nothing different. Exactly the same. So, for most cases, you have avoir. And for the 17 verbs of la maison d'être, you use être or for les verbes pronominaux. Okay? That's it. So, we are really just doing passé composé, but putting être ou avoir à l'imparfait. But the logic is exactly the same. Alright? Now that this is clear, I want you to do this first practice exercise. There is no trick, no trap here at all. I just want you to conjugate these verbs at plus que parfait, using what we just saw. So you should pause the video here and write down the whole sentences on your notebook. You can take as much time as you want to do this. C'est bon? On regarde. Nous étions arrivés au restaurant avant lui. Vous aviez mangé ensemble plus tôt. J'avais bu trop de vin ce soir-là. Elle avait téléphoné à sa mère avant. Ils étaient sortis à 18h. You can see that we really have nous étions, vous aviez, j'avais, elle avait, ils étaient. So all of this is l'imparfait, right? And then, arrivé, mangé, bu, téléphoné, sorti are just participe passé. Okay? So you can take a minute here to really get the logic of the sentences. This is just applying what we have just seen right now. Now, what do I notice here? Arrivé, sorti. I see this S here and this S here. Nous étions arrivés et S, ils étaient sortis IS. Why am I putting the S here? You will say, because nous is pluriel and il is pluriel, right? So we can ask the question, how about le participe passé? Should we, accorder le participe passé, just like we do for passé composé? Well, guess what? This is just like for passé composé. Okay? The participe passé are all the same, because anyway, participe passé is participe passé. It's not exclusive to any conjugation tense. Okay? So all the participe passé are the same. And when you use l'auxiliaire être, then you should do the accord with the sujet, always. And when using avoir, you only do it if the COD is before the verb. I don't go too much in detail about these rules because these are the rules of passé composé. If you know passé composé, then you know all of this. It's like plus que parfait is basically passé composé with a small twitch, but nothing more than this. Okay, so very easy. This is why right away, let's go to another practice exercise, a bit more difficult this time. I want you to conjugate these verbs at plus que parfait. Be careful about le participe passé. Sometimes you may have to accorder, you have to l'accorder, okay? Tu dois accorder le participe passé, féminin, masculin, pluriel, singulier. I've put a drawing of a girl crying. sorry about this. To illustrate this sentence here, elle éclatait en sanglots. Éclater en sanglots is an expression that means like crying a lot, like wow, really crying super hard. Okay, so éclater en sanglots. Okay, you can pause the video right here. The vocabulary in these sentences might be a bit difficult, but if you are studying plus que parfait, like nothing here I think is too difficult for you. Huh? Like you don't study plus que parfait at the A1 level, like you should already have studied enough before studying this. Ok? C'est bon? Did you do the exercise? C'est parti. Les enfants ont chanté les chansons qu'ils avaient apprises. Ok? Ils avaient appris quoi? Les chansons. Féminin pluriel. Les chansons is the COD of the verb apprendre. The COD here is before the verb. Donc, je fais l'accord. I do the accord. Féminin pluriel, ES. J'ai lu un roman que je m'étais procuré à la bibliothèque. Dès qu'elle était rentrée de l'école, elle éclatait en sanglots. Elle était rentrée et eux. Parce que le sujet, c'est elle, féminin singulier, with l'auxiliaire avoir. Être. Vous attendiez la surprise que vos parents vous avaient promise. Vos parents vous avaient promis quoi? Ils avaient promis quoi? La surprise. Donc la surprise is the COD of the verb promettre. It is before it. Donc j'accorde le participe passé. La surprise, c'est féminin singulier, promise. Lorsque vous vous étiez senti mieux, nous avons recommencé à nous voir. Maybe I have put a because vous, maybe a woman or a group of women. Okay? Vous vous étiez senti mieux. But the S, sorry, this is a mistake actually. The S shouldn't be in parentheses. The S is normal here. Okay. Se sentir is a verb pronominal. Hein. Tu portais cette robe de soie bleue que j'avais cousue. J'avais cousu quoi? Cette robe de soie bleue. C'est le COD du verbe coudre. It is before. Donc je fais l'accord cousu E. Très bien. If you need to, please take a moment here. You pause the video and really let the logic of the conjugation sink in, okay? Like here, there should be nothing tricky for you. Très bien. Finally, last point we can review. How about negation? Doing negative sentence. Guess what? Same than passé composé. Okay? Nothing tricky here. I put ne pas from each side of the auxiliaire, whether it's être ou avoir. If you know passé composé, this one is super easy. So here I have put an example at the top. You can do this last practice exercise. Pause the video right here and conjugate the sentences. Negative. Everything negative here. Okay? Vas-y. C'est bon? On regarde. Nous n'étions pas arrivés au restaurant avant lui. Vous n'aviez pas mangé ensemble plus tôt. Je n'avais pas bu trop de vin ce soir-là. Elle n'avait pas téléphoné à sa mère avant. Elle n'était pas sortie à 18h. Ça va? Très bien. And let's do a last practice exercise. I call this additional practice because this is kind of a summary of everything we've seen until now. So I know this is a lot of practice. For me, it's easy because I just wait 2 seconds and I say, c'est bon? I know for you it's long and tiring because if you do it correctly, you actually pause the video, do the exercise. But you know, it's not meant to be easy, okay? Like if you're tired at the end of the video, that's a good sign, all right? So let's do it seriously. Tu peux conjuguer tous les verbes au plus que parfait. Recap of everything. C'est bon? On regarde. Lucas avait vendu son vieux vélo. Patricia était restée chez Jean. Madeleine et Guillaume avaient choisi ce chien. Nous n'avions pas rendu le DVD. Vous aviez cherché des glaces. Est-ce qu'elles étaient déjà allées dans... Oh, pardon. Est-ce qu'elles étaient déjà allées dans ce restaurant? Starting to be tired. Ils avaient reçu un email. Marc n'avait pas voulu une nouvelle voiture. Est-ce que tu avais déjà vu ce film? Juliette était descendue par les escaliers. No trick here. This should be okay for you. Congratulations, you know how to conjugate le plus que parfait. Congratulations, you know 3 tenses of the past. Passé composé, imparfait, plus que parfait. But what is tricky about plus que parfait is not how to conjugate the verbs. This is the easy part. The tricky part is how to use all these tenses together in a coherent, logical way. Okay? So now I will do my best to illustrate this to you. As always, I mention this very frequently. What I'm doing right here is giving you the academic grammar part of the understanding. This is only 1/2 of the work, okay? The other half of the work is for you to get used to listen to French every day, watch movie, talk to people, practice and everything. So the logic of the tenses becomes okay for you. Like you become comfortable with the logic without having to think about it in a studying way, okay? To study with your pen and paper is 1/2 of the work. The other half is to actually talk to some people, to, listen to the radio, watch movies, read in French, read stories and everything. All right. So let's take the example that we mentioned in the beginning, okay? J'ai mangé une pomme. So, I ate an apple. For me to say the sentence, I ate an apple, means that I'm talking from here. I'm speaking right now. And I'm saying basically, in the past, I ate an apple. J'ai mangé une pomme. To express an idea that happened in the past, I use here le passé composé. I could use in a different way l'imparfait, but here for this example, passé composé. So the idea is that I will use le plus que parfait to express the idea that something happened before the thing that happened in the past. Ok? J'ai mangé la pomme happened in the past. La pomme que j'avais achetée happened even before this one. So this is why I said in the beginning that we use le plus que parfait relatively to another time of the past. So logically, for you to use le plus que parfait, most of the time it means that in the same context, something happened at passé composé ou imparfait. Okay? Because using plus que parfait makes sense only in comparison to something that happened at passé composé ou imparfait. Let's look at another example. Quand j'étais petite, j'allais souvent chez mes amis quand j'avais fini mes devoirs. So, when I was a kid, when I was young, I was often going at my friend's place, chez mes amis, when I had finished my homework. Okay? So, right now, in the present, I'm saying this sentence. Maybe the girl who says this is now a grandmother, maybe she's old and she's remembering her memories. Quand j'étais petite, j'allais souvent chez mes amis. This is the past, you know, like when I was young, I was going often to my friend's place. Okay? This is like the past. Quand j'étais petite, j'allais souvent. And here I use l'imparfait. But, j'allais souvent chez mes amis quand j'avais fini mes devoirs. It's like in order for me to go to my friend's place, first I have to finish my homeworks. So, like, to finish my homeworks was happening before going to my friends. Okay? Donc, j'avais fini mes devoirs. Like, to do the homework needs to happen before going to my friends. And all of this technically is the past. All of this is happening in the past. Alright? So, all of this is the past. And this one is like the past of the past. Something happened before something else, but all inclusive of the past. Okay? And this is why here, j'avais fini, I use le plus que parfait to imply that the action is before another action that is already at a past tense. Okay? Another example. Nous sommes retournés dans le café où nous nous étions rencontrés. Donc, nous sommes retournés, we went back in the coffee place where we met, like where we met for the first time, nous nous étions rencontrés. Meaning that two people met for the first time in a coffee place and then they went back there another time, like to drink coffee together again. Donc, nous sommes retournés, we went back. For example, my friend asked me, oh yeah, you went out with your girlfriend yesterday, what did you do? Well, we went back in the coffee place where we first met in the past. Donc, nous sommes retournés happened in the past. Maybe this was like yesterday. For example, hier, nous sommes retournés. Maybe this one was yesterday, me and my girlfriend, we went back to the coffee place where we met the first time. So, it's like even before, maybe 2 years ago, we met there. Okay? But so, nous nous étions rencontrés, we met for the first time, obviously had to happen before nous sommes retournés. Because nous sommes retournés is we went back, right? So once again, all of this happened in the past. But this one is like the past of the past. Okay? I think that's the best I can do for the logic. So I really hope that you get the idea. No, these are theoretical examples, and I wanted to do something a bit different than usual and show you real life example, okay? I think can be interesting. So here's a screenshot of a WhatsApp conversation that I have actually with my cousin. So last time I was basically babysitting my nephew, okay? So the son of my cousin, which is right here. And so I was babysitting him at home. You can see 7 p.m. My cousin calls me, I don't pick up. 1 hour and a half later, she asks me, ça va? Tu survis? Which means, like, are you alright? Are you surviving? Because, you know, he's very young and he does a lot of, like, his, you know how, like, young kids are. And then, so, still no answer. Then, 1 hour later, coucou, tout va bien? So, like, is everything okay? Tout va bien? So you can see that she's starting to worry a bit. And then I answer, désolé, j'avais pas vu. J'avais pas vu is plus que parfait, technically speaking. Okay? It's like, sorry, I haven't seen your message. Like, I haven't seen your messages. What does it mean here? Why am I using plus que parfait? Because what I mean here is something like, désolé, je n'ai pas répondu parce que je n'avais pas vu tes messages. When I say désolé, j'avais pas vu in the message, it's just a quick, casual way to text something. Like, the idea that I say is, sorry, I didn't answer before because I haven't seen your messages. And so we find the logic here. Is like, sorry, je suis désolé, is like right now. Right now, it's 9:26 p.m. I'm sorry. I didn't answer, je n'ai pas répondu. Okay? So when you were calling me here, je n'ai pas répondu. I didn't answer. So this is the past. Why? Because je n'avais pas vu tes messages. I had not seen your messages. Okay? That's the logic. I hope it's interesting for you to see real life examples like this. By the way, j'avais pas is technically, like grammatically, not so correct because I should say je n'avais pas, right? But it's very, very, very common when we speak in a casual way in France that we say just j'avais pas to be faster. Okay. Now I will show you another real life example, but in the text there will be a bad word. Actually, still okay, but technically still a bad word. And some people told me in the past that they watch these videos with their children. So if you don't want your children to learn bad words in French, then you should skip this next example, which will be our last example. So you can go straight to the practice exercise at the end, okay? So yeah, sorry for the bad words, but I think it's interesting actually to study real life examples. So this is a text that I have received the other day. Let's study it together because it's very interesting. Moi, j'aime vraiment bien le cable rear delt fly. So cable rear delt fly is like bodybuilding exercise that looks like this. And it's common in France to use English names for this kind of exercises. Vraiment bon exo. It's a really good exercise. Pour l'arrière d'épaule, so for the back of the shoulder. No, grammatically gets interesting. J'avais vu un mec à Paris le faire, le seul de la salle à faire ça. Je me suis dit, putain, mais il est trop pas con lui. Et hop, je lui ai piqué, haha. So, sorry about this. Putain is like a kind of an insult in French. Et con means like to be very dumb. Okay, so what does it mean here? I had seen a guy in Paris do this, so do this exercise. Le seul de la salle à faire ça, the only person in the gym to do this. Je me suis dit, so I thought to myself, like, damn, he's really not dumb, something like this. Et hop, je lui ai piqué. I took it from him. So what this guy is saying is that he was in the gym, he saw someone do this exercise, he thought, oh, that's a good exercise actually. I will do it from now on. I will steal the idea from him. Okay? Do you get the logic here? Je lui ai piqué. I took it from him. Passé composé. Je me suis dit. Passé composé. J'avais vu. Plus que parfait. So this is a bit tricky, but this is like real life example how people really speak. What's the logic here? Well, I have. Moi, j'aime vraiment bien l'exercice. So right now, it's like, yeah, I really like this exercise. Right now. J'avais vu un mec à Paris le faire. In the chronological order. First, I saw the guy do the exercise. Then I thought to myself, oh yeah, he's really smart. And so now I like it. I hope this is clear. You can pause the video here if you want to get the logic. I think that's right. Here you have an example of someone telling a story. And like unconsciously, you know, the guy who sent me this message, he doesn't think consciously, oh yeah, I will use plus que parfait and passé composé, etc. But unconsciously, naturally, he's using plus que parfait here to mention that this happened necessarily before this. Because in order for him to think, oh yeah, that's a good exercise, first he had to saw someone do it, right? Obviously. Okay? That's really the best I can do. I hope this is interesting for you to see these real life examples. Sorry for the bad words. I allowed myself to let them because putain et con are extremely common in French. They are on the still okay end of the bad word spectrum. Like it's not super big insult. It's like very common actually to say this. So technically still a bad word, but I feel like it's still okay. And at some point it's like even a bit cultural for you to see this, because these are not messages that were written for the sake of the exercise. I just took them from WhatsApp conversations. Okay? Très bien. Practice exercise. No joke anymore. You have here 4 sentences. I want you to convert these sentences at the past. Some verbs are already conjugated at the past. I want you to conjugate them at the past of the past. Okay? To do this, you will have to use passé composé, imparfait, plus que parfait, all together. We can do the first one together if you want. If you feel comfortable, you just pause the video right now and you do the 4 sentences. If you are a bit unsure and you don't know how to do, let's do the first one together. Okay? But my throat is super painful. C'est parti. So, je ne le connais pas beaucoup. Je ne l'ai vu qu'une fois. I don't know him very well. I only saw him once. So here we have 2 temporalities, like 2 different times. Je ne le connais pas beaucoup. I don't know him very well. This is present. C'est le présent. This is right now. Why? Parce que je ne l'ai vu qu'une fois. I only saw him once. This one is actually the past. Je ne l'ai vu qu'une fois is passé composé. Passé composé. Passé composé. So, I don't know him very well. I only saw him once. I need to convert this at the past. Donc, je ne le connais pas beaucoup will become from know to past. Et je ne l'ai vu qu'une fois will go from past to past of the past, which is plus que parfait. So it will look like je ne le connaissais pas beaucoup, je ne l'avais vu qu'une fois. I didn't know him very well, I had seen him only once. Do you get the logic here? No, je ne le connaissais pas beaucoup is already in the past. It's like I'm telling a story. It's like, yeah, when I was 12 years old for Christmas, I saw my uncle. I didn't know him very well because I had seen him only once. You know what I mean? Everything happening in the past. But je ne l'avais vu qu'une fois happened before je ne le connaissais pas beaucoup. Okay? I let you pause the video and do the other sentences. The logic is really always the same. C'est bon? On regarde. Je l'ai invitée pour Noël, mais elle ne vient pas. Je l'avais invitée pour Noël, mais elle n'est pas venue. It's like, I had invited her, but she didn't come. And obviously, for her to not come, like the invitation had to be before, right? Because I invited her before the day where she didn't come. Il y a au moins un an que nous ne nous sommes pas rencontrés dans la rue. Il y avait au moins un an que nous ne nous étions pas rencontrés dans la rue. Ok? Il y avait au moins un an. It's like, it had been at least a year that we had not met in the street. Je décide de lui téléphoner, mais quand je l'appelle, il est déjà sorti. J'ai décidé de lui téléphoner, mais quand je l'ai appelé, il était déjà sorti. Ok? Très bien. You can really take a moment here to pause the video and get the logic of the sentences. You can see here that we use plus que parfait in comparison to passé composé and imparfait without any distinction. It makes no difference to plus que parfait if before it's passé composé or imparfait. But that's how we use the three of them together. Now, this example is still quite easy because you can see that in each sentence, I only have two tenses. I haven't put sentences with the three tenses at once. Okay? I will do this in another video. So in the next video that I will release, it will be a video of only exercises, 100% exercises of using passé composé, imparfait together, then passé composé, imparfait, and plus que parfait together. I know a lot of people are looking for like practice videos like this, so it will be like I encourage you if you want to practice more to go check out the next video, which will be only full practice exercises about using the past tenses together. Now, some special rules for verb pronominal. So you can stop the video here, to be honest, because this last part is really niche grammar. Okay, the first slide is me telling you that 90% of French people themselves don't know about these rules. This will be very niche rules, but I know some people really want to know all the grammar rules. So for me to feel okay with my consciousness, with my conscience, I want to tell you about these rules. But honestly, these are really niche grammar stuff, and you don't really need them. Like you will not fail an exam because you don't know these rules, to be honest. Okay, but if you really want to know, let's go. So, 3 rules when using les verbes pronominaux with le plus que parfait. I don't go back to verb pronominaux. If you are watching a video about plus que parfait, you should be comfortable with verb pronominaux because we see this in the A1 level. So, as you know, all the verb pronominaux are using être by default, right? This is the same than with passé composé. We talked about this earlier. So, le verbe laver, par exemple, elle avait lavé la voiture. Elle avait lavé la voiture. Really sounds unnecessarily complicated. So, she had washed the car. Here, I'm using le verbe laver. Now, se laver, it's like the pronominal form of the verb to wash. Se laver, to wash oneself. Elle s'était lavée. She took a shower. So, it's interesting here because you can see that when I use the normal verb laver, I use l'auxiliaire avoir. But when I use un verbe pronominal, always, by default, is l'auxiliaire être. Always, 100%. Okay? No other way. And since I'm using l'auxiliaire être, then now I have to do the accord of the participe passé coherent with the sujet. Donc, elle s'était lavée et eux. Parce que elle is féminin singulier. Okay? For now, this is exactly the same that for passé composé. Nothing new here at all. But you don't do the accord if the verb has another COD. What do I mean here? When I say elle avait la voiture. Elle avait lavé quoi? La voiture. Okay? Donc la voiture is the C-O-D of the verb laver, right? But here it's after the verb, so I don't care. I don't have to do any accord. Se laver. Elle s'était lavée. Elle avait lavé quoi? Bah, she washed herself. Donc, elle avait lavé quoi? Well, se, you know, like, technically, this S apostrophe is the COD of the verb laver. Okay? I don't think about it as a COD because anyway, I'm using l'auxiliaire être, so I will do l'accord with le sujet. But like it's coherent, you know, or you can say elle avait lavé quoi? Elle, like elle is the COD, you know. Elle is the COD of the verb laver. Like, you know, this is why les verbes pronominaux we do the accord, like technically. Okay? Because elle is the COD of the verb laver. But we don't care about this because anyway, we're using l'auxiliaire être. But now, if I'm using un verbe pronominal that has another COD than the person itself, then I don't do the accord. For example, elle s'était lavée, normal verb pronominal. Elle avait lavé quoi? Elle, so technically elle is the COD, okay? But in some rare cases, you can have un verbe pronominal with another COD. Like for example, elle s'était lavé les mains. She had washed her hands. I'm still using the pronominal form of laver, okay? Because we say se laver les mains. But now we have a new COD, which is les mains. Elle s'était lavé quoi? Les mains. So now the COD is not the sujet anymore. You see what I mean? Like in 99% of the cases, when we use verb pronominaux, the COD is the sujet. You know, we don't think about it because it's just always the case. But in some cases, well, it's not the case. Like here, for example. Elle s'était lavé quoi? Les mains. So in this context, I don't do the accord. Alright? Which means that technically here, even if I am using un verbe pronominal, se laver, I do not do the accord of the participe passé with the sujet. I don't do it. Alright? That's the first rule. Finally, we never do the accord with a COI. This is why I will have, for example, Marie et Stéphane s'étaient téléphonés et Marie et Stéphane s'étaient appelés et S. Why? Because I say téléphoner à qui? So Marie et Stéphane is the COI of the verb téléphoner. Because I say téléphoner à qui? But here, Marie et Stéphane is the COD this time of the verb appeler. Parce que je vais dire appeler qui? Marie et Stéphane. Alright? So once again, even if I'm using a verb pronominal here, I don't do, like here the verb is se téléphoner, I don't do any accord because the verb now has a COI. Okay? If you pause the video right now and really think about this slide, really think about what I just said, you will arrive logically to the conclusion that some verbs pronominaux, some pronominal verbs, just like se téléphoner, can never have a COD. Like, you will never do the accord with them, okay? Parce que je dis, because I have to say, téléphoner à qui, parler à qui, mentir à qui. These are examples of verbs that logically you will never do the accord with them because these are verbs that can only have a COE and not a COD. These are verbs about which I ask the question à qui instead of qui. Okay? You need to be comfortable with the distinction between COD and COE here, but this should be, I mean, we are way past this level already. Ça va? That's it. Alright. I don't do any practice exercise for this because, like I said, this is really niche grammar, so I don't see the point of like practicing this. Okay? However, you should do the practice that, like the next video, the practice about passé composé, imparfait, and plus que parfait. Okay? If you have watched the whole video until here, congratulations. This was a heavy one, but you made it through the end, so congratulations. You can take a rest now. And I take this opportunity, as always, to remind you that on my website you have the full A1, A2, and B1 course for those of you who want to have a proper, structured course to study fast and by yourself at home in a structured way, a bit every day. Okay, you can also ask for having coaching, like one-on-one coaching with me, for you to have like private classes and everything. I let you go check out my website. Ok, très bien. Bisous mon pote, prends soin de toi. Ciao et à bientôt.